Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon. Let me first thank the government and people of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for the warm hospitality already extended, and I look forward to experiencing more of the society in the coming days. Madam Chair, I am attending this regional seminar with humbleness and gratitude. Gratitude to you and the Special Committee for standing with the British Virgin Islands for the past 2 years as we have navigated the challenges of preserving democratic governance in the territory, which our people have worked so hard to establish after a difficult history of direct colonial rule and slavery. We are particularly grateful to the governments of Caracas and BVI, who have consistently come to our defense, including their recent opposition to a request for additional powers by the former UK governor in January before his departure. We also appreciate the approach taken by the UK Minister for the Overseas Territories, who has expressed a preference for constructive engagement and dialogue with the elected arm of the British Virgin Islands government, as opposed to acting on draconian requests such as the one made by the former governor. The joint declaration agreed by the UK and Overseas Territories at the beginning of the year is helpful in trying to reframe the relationship, but much more must be done to truly make it a modern partnership. The relationship's colonial underpinnings will continue to be a source of tension until the democratic deficit is erased. Madam Chair, Excellencies, I would like to provide a brief update on the relationship between the British Virgin Islands and the UK. As you are aware, the British Virgin Islands adopted a governance reform framework 2 years ago in response to the crisis when the territory's political freedom was threatened with the very real prospect of direct colonial rule being imposed on the people of the islands after 56 years of ministerial government. I am pleased to report that by 31st May of this year, 81% of those reforms will be completed. The elected arm of government will then only have 2 remaining reform actions for which it is responsible that will be finalized in June. The UK governor will have 9 actions left to be completed after 31st May. Our expectation is that all parties involved will work together to complete all outstanding reforms. From the perspective of the elected government, these governance reforms are a vehicle for the British Virgin Islands to become more self-determined as we position ourselves to achieve a full measure of self-government. Unfortunately, the UK Order in Council in reserve that would suspend our constitution if triggered continues to hang over the territory, pending full implementation of the governance reform framework. This approach is not in good keeping with a modern partnership, but we will continue to engage the UK on lifting the order as soon as possible. Madam Chair, Excellencies, I would like to speak to the function of the Special Committee. The British Virgin Islands' expectation is that the Special Committee will use all the tools at its disposal to support the decolonization process of the 17 remaining non-self-governing territories, including the British Virgin Islands. In this regard, I want to commend the Special Committee for its renewed focus on the Caribbean, where decolonization remains incomplete and is often overlooked because of the overseas territories' economic progress and delegated political authority. The case of the British Virgin Islands demonstrates that these attributes do not negate the colonial elements of the constitutional and legal relationship with an administrative power. The Special Committee is critical to having some measure of international accountability in the relationship between the administrative powers and the territories of the region, especially when there are tensions. Madam Chair, the government of the British Virgin Islands was very pleased to receive your official letter on behalf of the Special Committee that confirmed a C-24 visiting mission will be dispatched to the territory from 15th to 17th July to assess the situation on the ground. This will be very timely as the people of the British Virgin Islands are actively engaged in in the process of considering their constitutional future, which cannot ignore the question of self-determination. In the very near future, our local parliament, the House of Assembly, will debate the recommendations of a constitutional review report that covers the key issues. Shortly thereafter, the government will engage the public further on constitutional reforms in preparation for negotiations with the UK. Madam Chair, on behalf of Premier Dr. the Honorable Nathaniel Weekly, I want to sincerely thank the Special Committee under your most capable leadership and also that of your predecessor for your persistence and determination in making this mission a reality. I also wish to thank the UK for their cooperation in agreeing to the visiting mission, and I acknowledge the critical role played by Ambassador James Kirby. The visiting mission will serve as a strong example that the Special Committee can be effective in spite of the diplomatic and political challenges involved. Madam Chair, we are looking forward to receiving you and your team. Excellencies, as I close, the British Virgin Islands humbly ask for the continued support of the members of the C-24 as we pursue our aspirations as a people. I thank you.
I thank the Special Envoy of the Premier of the British